Greetings and welcome, everybody, to this week's episode of Poly Weekly News. I'm your host, David Danto, and there have been some changes around here. So much stuff is going on. I'm having a hard time. You see, I got a haircut. My hair is nice and short now, and for this week only, I'm not wearing my Poly jersey. Poly is still around, but I do want to acknowledge that, Poly is an HP company now, and we're going to talk about that and a bunch of other things with my good friend, Tony Intrabartolo. Tony, say hi to everybody.
Hey, gang, I also have the dubious honor of being one of the few people probably with more junk in his background than Dave has. So
it's the junk background show. That's what I'll title it going forward.
there you go.
So no, it has been an amazing month of announcements. We had talked in the show about the APA marketplace that we had put up around PolyLens and Clarity recently. And then we went into a bunch of announcements that I couldn't, I hinted at, but I couldn't really talk about in a lot of detail. And now we can really start to talk about them. I guess the biggest one was what happened at Microsoft Ignite, where we announced that the Poly G7500 is now certified for Microsoft Teams. And that's an enormous deal.
Yeah, that's you. I mean, me and you, we both come from the old AV world, and we know integration. And to finally have an integrator's codec that's certified for Teams, that's kind of huge. And we're happy we're the only one, and we're happy we're first.
And I want to make sure that everybody really understands that I'm going to break it down, like everybody's in kindergarten and I'm talking to a 4-year-old. This is actually really important. This is the first Microsoft Teams fully certified device that can be used by AV and IT integrators for complex rooms. Full inputs, full outputs, camera in, audio out. You can now build Microsoft Teams certified into these larger spaces that we've been designing custom rooms for years. And that's a very, very big deal.
Well, especially now that, thanks to COVID finally being over, the big rooms are coming back. I mean, you and I both see it, that it's like, oh, yeah, we have to integrate big rooms again. I forgot about that. And I think a lot of the players in this industry did. They got so busy with the all-in-ones and they got so busy with the bars that they forgot that someday we're going to have to do big rooms again. And luckily, Poly, we have the product to do it with the G7500.
Yeah, and by the way, the smaller products, the all-in-ones, the bars, they're growing, they're getting bigger. Everybody's seen roadmaps, we know what's going on, so they're going to reach bigger and bigger into, deeper into rooms, but you still need that integrator device sometimes. Is it 20%? Probably not. It's 15, yeah, 15%, 16% of rooms are going to need to have custom integration. And now we have a solution for you where it was always bastardized and you would have to use it with a computer in the past and do some other things. So that was one of the very big announcements. My shirt, and I talked about it before when we opened the show, Poly is now an HP company. We started November 1st, which is the close of the deal. You've got the logo there. I've got the logo on my shirt. But the Poly name is not going away. We actually announced this morning that the 3 brands that are coming out of this division of HP are going to be HP branded, Poly branded, and HyperX branded for the gaming side of things, and the brands are going to exist, and we're very proud of them, the heritage, the legacy, the logos, and we're going to keep moving with that going forward. At least that's what I've heard. What have you heard?
Yeah, I mean, part of me, that's actually what I've heard, but part of me is like, okay, so where's my counterpart in HyperX? I have a gaming rig I would like to upgrade, as well as my son could use new headsets for the Xbox. No, it's exciting, right? It's really, you think about, and Poly's a great company, it has a huge lineage. If you think about how much being with HP now brings us from just capabilities and everything else, it's amazing. And like I said, HyperX, and it's kind of cool, but our name's sticking around. Right? If you go to a joke I told a client yesterday was, we want to be more efficient. So instead of you having to type in poly.com, you can now just type HP. We wanted to save you a few keystrokes because we're now on the HP website.
Well, poly.com hasn't gone away yet.
It hasn't gone away yet, but you can go to hp.com and save a few keystrokes. See, I'm trying to be efficient here.
There you go. That
really
right
works. Up at the top is one of the HP brands. So,
and from a heritage standpoint, Hewlett Packard has had a tremendous heritage. If you remember, I remember fondly the movie Fantasia, where they were showing the sound wave. That sound wave was on an HP oscilloscope that was coming from back there.
The other one I found really fascinating. So we, obviously Poly, formerly Plantronics, we love to talk about, one small step for man was spoken over a Plantronics headset. But do you realize that 30% of the transistors on that chip were made by HP, and the calculator, the backup calculator they had on board in case the computer broke, was an HP calculator?
So the interesting thing is, it's sort of like marrying your best friend over decades. the heritage, the lineage, the background. It's really something that's going to be great. We're all deep in the heart of integration now, where no brands are going away and no products have been announced that are going away, and we're really just trying to work this out. But we're very proud of it. Very proud of being an HP company. I'm going to go back to wearing my Poly shirts, and I'll see if I can get in one of those special orders that have HP and Poly on them together.
I
But
think they're sending them to us. Somebody said we're all going to get them.
yeah,
So
that's what I thought. But I got
we went to one of the events because they had, we're remote workers, right? So we don't
right.
get all the cool swag immediately. But I know at the remote events they were giving out the Poly HP shirts. So
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to see what I can do to get the polos because I only wear the polos when I go to the
I think I
conferences
might
and
be getting one
seminars.
next week for
Well,
Zoom.
see if you can grab because you don't wear them as big as I do. See if you can grab like the 2XL or the 3XL and send me one. I'd love that.
Yeah, well, Karen, who runs our trade shows, will look at me like, "Why do you need that shirt?"
Can't just tell Karen it's for me. The other
Oh,
thing
no.
most people haven't noticed over my shoulder next to the Poly logo right there. That's my old HP Slice. I've had it back there for the last few weeks.
Most people haven't noticed that the touch screen that I've had on my since we put touch capabilities on the 3, that's an HP. I bought that like right after the announcement. I was like, I need a touch screen so I can show all the Zoom touch stuff. Oh, look, I think I'll buy an HP one now. That might be forward looking.
So we will have to have Chris Moss or Jay McArdle or somebody on the show over the next few weeks to talk about
Oh, yeah.
roadmap and where things are going. But right now, it's
Some
all
of
the
the talks
products are
I've had
still
with both
there.
of them about the roadmap is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really exciting. You know me, I'm a geek. I love the tech, and where we're going is just it's refreshing. And
But
a lot of
from
because of our now we're part of HP.
but from what I've seen, even under NDA, which we don't talk about on the show, but from what I've seen the HP roadmap and I've seen the Poly roadmap. I haven't seen an HP Poly roadmap yet. So let's give them a little bit of time to figure out, how that stuff's going to come together because it's just going to be amazing technology when we put it together. There should be no more naked computers flying out there. Everything should be going with, headsets and cameras and peripherals, and it's just going to be an awesome future going forward.
Okay.
So that we definitely wanted to talk about that one. The next one, I mean, I think it's a really huge deal, especially from my background as being an ex-end user, that we've announced that we're going to be the first codec that's going to run Google Meet on our Android devices on our Studio X platforms. That's a really big deal.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it, how many, if you can name another player that has products that can span so many ecosystems,
Well,
right? You
when I
buy
was
Studio X and you just look at that, which platform are you on menu, it's quite scary. And now we're
well,
the first to add Google to it as well.
yeah, that'll be out in January. When I'm uh, uh, from an end user standpoint, from when I was in the area, I would always want to hesitate. I was buying Tandberg from you for a while, and then Cisco for a while. You don't want to buy something that's going to give you handcuffs, that's going to lock you into a service. You want to be free to change a service. So on our devices, you've always been able to buy USB devices. That works on anything. But
Right.
when you talk about our Android platform, it's been able to work on Zoom. Certified. It's been able to be certified natively on Microsoft Teams, on Ring Central, on 8x8, on a whole list of other ones, Tencent in China, and a few other ones that are going on. And now we are adding Google Meet to that. It happens to be the first time you're able to run Google Meet on Android, which is weird because they make both of those products, but it was only a Chromium, type product before. Now it's going to be on Android, and you can now buy the Poly HP products certified for whatever platform you're using. And if next week you want to make a change because you got a better service offering or you want to do something, you no longer have to throw anything out. No more forklifts. What an amazing investment savings that's going to be
Oh,
for
and
end
it's funny
users.
too. We forget about it, but I look at our PEC, the team on our PEC team, and the fact that depending who the client is, it takes them only a few minutes to go. Okay, well, this is a Zoom client. Let's make all the systems Zoom. Oh, it's Teams clients. Make all, and the fact that our platform and our products let you do that. Me and Dave go way back to the days of SPIDs and Ascend IMUSs, and we remember all that stuff. But it's kind of amazing that the one piece of hardware we build can just, okay, whatever platform you want. If you need to switch, okay, switch.
Well, everybody from an end user standpoint is talking about instantaneous app switching, which doesn't exist in the marketplace right now. It's not because it's technically not possible. It's because the platforms don't want it to be. That's something the end users are going to have to deal with. But right now, you can reboot our products into whatever platform you want to use. No handcuffs. You're
And I
able to
think
do
it's
anything you
going to
want.
start loosening up soon because I don't know if you saw I think it was today a press release came out about Google and Zoom working to make bi-directional interop between the new Google platform and the Zoom platform. I mean, it's shocking when you see people go, okay, cool, let's work together. Let's make, I mean, we were there back in the days of the 323 and the ITMU and all that stuff. But I think it's going to start changing soon. I think you're going to finally see we're going to go back to the days of you can't have a cell phone that only calls the same cell phone on the same carrier.
You and I have been talking about that for, the post that I put up on Twitter is that, in 100 years from now, doctors will be automatic, cars will drive themselves, and we'll still be talking about interoperability for conferencing.
Yeah.
So it's the business that we're in.
And
And then this
for me,
is
I started my career in video conferencing working in an interop lab for PictureTel, where our whole job was like, can I make this PictureTel 4000 call a CLI Rembrandt? And there's not many who watch this would even know what we're talking about, but I know you know. Hey, it only worked maybe 20% of the time.
Am I the only guy that thought that the CLI machine looked like the bomb from Goldfinger? The big cart with
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
Oh, well, I mean, the if you got the PictureTel 4500 out of its case, it looked kind of giant box. I have one. If I had planned, I could have brought one in, but
That's
yeah,
quite all right. So it's Monday, and tomorrow starts Zoomtopia. I feel really bad. I'm not going to be at Zoomtopia this year because I had a little bit of surgery a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still kind of recovering from that. I'm not going to start traveling again until CES, which I will be at this year. So if you're going to be at CES, by all means, reach out to me, and I'd love to chat with you, whoever's going to be there. But you will be at Zoomtopia, right? And we've got some
it's a
announcements.
fun time warp, right? In reality, while speaking to you here now on Monday when this is released, I'm probably actually setting up our technology for keynotes and everything else at Zoomtopia. So there's now officially 2 of me, apparently. But yeah, so I will be on site myself. I'm really excited because obviously it's been virtual for the last couple of years. And it's always great to get together with the industry. And, and there's some fun things coming that I can't talk about yet.
Yeah, well, we can hint that we're going to see some new products.
Yep.
Filling in a couple of gaps that we had, and obviously, people watching the show on demand will be able to look at the news releases at blogs.poly.com or at poly.com or at hp.com and hear about that. Also, HP's CEO is going to be on stage with Eric Yuan, and Enrique is going to be talking about.
Spend some time with him. I'm only a week officially HP, so we'll see if I make it to the first paycheck after I work with the CEO for a while. But
So if you had to be working in the collaboration industry right now, other than owning Zoom, I don't think of another organization I'd rather be with. I love what we're putting together and what what HP Poly is doing.
I came to Poly 9 months ago, 10 months ago now. It seems like yesterday. And believe me, I was talking to different things at the time when I said I was going to go back out, and I was excited about where we're going with this. I'm even more excited now. But, it's great to be a company that, we cover all the bases for collaboration, right? I was joking, from the giant room down to, an earbud for my phone. I mean, it's amazing that we can solve that. And especially, and obviously, I'm the Zoom guy, the fact that there is nothing in the Zoom ecosystem we don't have products certified in that we can't put into place. So, yeah, this is the place to be.
And there will be more products. As of Tuesday of this week, we will have some more new cool announcements going forward for that. So let's give some heads up to the people that are watching, because we don't need to spend too much time with anybody today. So if you happen to be at Zoomtopia, please come visit Tony at the Poly booth. We're going to be there. And,
we're actually at 2 booths, so I'll be at one of the 2.
Well, if you go to one and he's not there, he'll be at the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Or just reach out to me on Twitter, or reach out to actually your Poly account rep or partner rep, and they can set up time with me.
And if you can't go to Zoomtopia this year, we are having Zoomtopia watch parties at a number of the Poly offices. So again, reach out to your Poly salesperson, reach out to whoever you deal with at Poly, and if you don't have anybody, just send me an email, reach out to me, and to the extent that I can in a day, I'll get you hooked up, because we want more people. I know that Chris Netto is going to be in our Herndon office. I think is going to be.
Yeah, and one other take it one step further. We will have virtual booths inside the Zoomtopia event center. So when you're not watching the events, you can actually go talk to some of our experts that will be online all during the open hours of the booth. Guys like Nikki, I got to give Nikki, who's my counterpart in Europe, and I know he's mad he doesn't get to come over, but he'll be the man in the booth. But they do an amazing job, so you'll have direct access to basically Poly Zoom experts on everything,
with some new announcements and some new products that we're showing that we'll talk about going forward.
And most of those experts might have those new things in their virtual booth too. So
there you go. Awesome. All right, so Tony, after Zoomtopia, if somebody wants to get in touch with you to learn about Poly, and Zoom, how would somebody best reach out to you?
Yeah, so best ways to reach out to me, obviously, is talk to your local account managers, your local SEs, and they can set up time with me. I'm a hard guy to get hold of sometime. Or, obviously hit me up on Twitter. Me and Dave have been following each other forever, or obviously Tony.Intrabartolo at either poly.com or HP.com, and it'll get to me.
Well, that's actually a very good point because we've been told to set our Poly emails to read only, and we're going to be sending out all emails and meetings from our HP account. So my email has just changed from david.danto@poly.com, which still works today, to david.danto@hp.com.
Yep.
But either one will get to me. We love hearing from you. Hit us up on LinkedIn if you're not already connected with us. If you're not reading our blogs, if you're not following what we're doing, follow me on Twitter. I'm NJDavidD on Twitter. What are you on Twitter?
AINTRABAR. So Intrabar. It's not very good. I set it up so long ago.
Intrabar. Okay. Well, we'll
Dave, and then search for my name. God knows I'm responding to Dave all the time, so you'll see me on there.
Well, as I promote this show, I'll make sure that I tag you in that. So, Tony, thanks very much for spending a little bit of time with us today. Thanks very much for representing us in San Jose.
San Jose. The last time I was there, I was with another company that worked out of there.
Let's just hope there aren't any, stage polls and twerking going on this year. That was what happened the last time it was live. That was a little bit of a
yeah, that would be bad.
Let's see if we can avoid that kind of controversy going forward. But other than that, I think it's going to be a great show.
It wasn't me doing the twerking. I just make sure I don't want anybody saying it with no.
No, it wasn't either one of us. It was up on the stage.
One of us, thank God.
One of the performers, and it was a little bit over the top. But anyway, Zoom is great. Poly HP is together. Lots of announcements, lots more announcements coming this year and early next year. So stay with us. But for everybody at Poly and HP now, I'm David Danto, your host. Thanks very much for joining us, and we will see you next week.